Welcome to another how-to video. This is Sarah Meyer, another video producer with Gemstone Media. She'll be helping us jazz up our shots with good lighting, framing, and composition. In the how-to video called Get Your Story Straight, we talk to you about reinforcing your message with every decision you make. For instance, avoiding distracting elements in the background. Take a hike, guys.
Oh, man.
It also means choosing the right locations for your video. As you plan what story you'd like to tell, think about where you'd like to be to tell that story. Would it make the most sense to be at the church where you do a lot of your ministry? Or at a cafe where you typically meet with friends? Or perhaps you'd be more comfortable in your own home or at your office. As you create different videos, it would be good to share not only what you're doing, but also where you're doing your ministry. Once you've selected your location, you need to think about your lighting.
Our goal in the next few minutes is simply to equip you to ask yourself good questions about lighting. As you think about your location, you want to ask yourself, where does the light come from? How will it hit me? And how will that look on camera? Now let's go inside and talk about the basics of lighting. Your main light source is called the key light. Crazy ninja. And ideally is located above and in front of you, but off to the side of the camera, leaving a dark shadowed side to your face. Next, the fill light comes from the other side and fills in the shadows, but isn't as bright as the key light. Finally, a light high and behind you, called the backlight, helps to separate you from the background.
You probably won't have a chance to shoot in a studio environment, so here's a practical example of how to translate those lights into your own situation. If you only have one possible light source, you'll want to use it as your key light or your main source of light. In this case, I'm using this window. Since I can't move the window, I'm going to position myself as though it's my key light. As we've seen in previous how-to videos, you have many different options for additional light sources. I'm going to use this desk lamp as my fill light and a floor lamp as my backlight.
If you're recording outside, the best lighting conditions are when it's overcast and the sun's light is bright yet diffused. This will give you very even light and eliminate harsh shadows on the face. If the sun is bright and you don't have a lot of cloud cover, you'll probably want to shoot in the morning or in the late afternoon when the sun is low and the colors are more vibrant. Then you can position yourself to use the sun as your key light. Use a reflector to bounce in extra sunlight from a different angle to be your fill light. Or position yourself to use the sun as your backlight and reflect the light back into your face as your key light.
Once you've lit your subject, you want to think about how to frame your shot, or how much of your surroundings you want your audience to see. You could start out by showing a wide shot to establish the location, or to show the action that's going on around you. The action! A medium shot could be used to simplify your scene and draw your viewers' attention towards what you're saying. Or perhaps you want to go to a close-up to see more detail.
It's also important to understand composition, or where to place your subject in your shot and why. The easiest way to think of this is to imagine dividing your frame into thirds, vertically and horizontally. The places where these lines intersect are where you want your viewer to focus. You can see how the third lines intersect over my eyes because that's the most important point in the shot. You also want to pay special attention to how your subject is facing. Normally they'll be positioned at a slight angle to the camera. You'll want to leave some open space though in the direction that they're looking. This will feel more natural and comfortable to your audience than if they're faced away from the open space like this. You'll most often see the rule of thirds being used this way in interviews.
In closing, let's review. Remember to choose a location that reinforces your message. Beware of distractions in the background.
Keep in mind the three lights we talked about: the key light, the fill light, and the backlight.
When you're at your location, consider where the light is coming from and how to position yourself for the best result.
Frame your shots wide to show a location or activity, medium to speak to your audience, and close up to show detail.
Finally, use the rule of thirds to place your subject in the frame.
Coming up, we'll teach you how to shoot as we tackle recording your story on the next how-to video.